By the spell of illusion, one tries to be happy by serving his personal sense gratification in different forms, which will never make him happy. This line is very important, dear devotees. Living entities happily the part and parcel of the Lord, and thus not this the previous line. They have no knowledge that the material or external nature is very strong, for everyone is strongly bound by the stringent laws of material nature. A living entity is happily the part and parcel of the Lord, and thus his natural function is to render immediate service to the Lord. By the spell of illusion, one tries to be happy by serving his personal sense gratification in different forms, which will never make him happy. By the spell of illusion, one tries to be happy by serving his personal sense gratification in different forms, which will never make him happy. Instead of satisfying his own personal material senses, he has to satisfy the senses of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. The Lord wants this and he demands it. One has to understand this central point of Bhagavad Gita. Our Krishna consciousness movement is teaching the whole world this central point. And because we are not polluting the theme of Bhagavad Gita, anyone seriously interested in deriving benefit by studying the Bhagavad Gita must take help from Krishna consciousness movement for practical understanding of Bhagavad Gita under the direct guidance of the Lord. We hope, therefore, that people will derive greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we have presented it here. And even if one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success. Prabhupada signed after that. This is on 12th May 1971, Sydney, Australia. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकधामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् पञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवसदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे हरे कृष्ण. Sorry, I was a little late. So, this is a preface. Here in the last two paragraphs, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. One second. Srila Prabhupada is explaining us the importance of how the jiva is part and parcel of the Lord. So, irrespective whether the jiva is staying in this world or some other place or in some other loka, doesn't matter. Hare Krishna. If you want to sit, you have to sit. Otherwise, you have to go to the other way. So, the jiva has to be very clear in which way that he is eternally part and parcel of the Lord. All the problems, that's what Srila Prabhupada is explaining here. The problem is, even if a person is at the stage of impersonal liberation, even if a person has realized Brahman, still if he do not realize that he is eternal servant of the Lord, that means his realization is not complete. That means again he has to fall into that cycle. Now a question will come, then if we are in the spiritual world, why did we come here? Here Srila Prabhupada is explaining, the jiva understands that he is part and parcel of the Lord. That means he will never take up the process of sense gratification or the materialistic way of life. If he always remembers it, he's always part and parcel. But in the spiritual world, they always remember that they're part and parcel of the Lord. Then how come the jiva? Here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that whoever comes to the plane of impersonal liberation, they cannot, if they do not pursue the truth that Lord is absolute, through him only everything is coming. If they do not understand that, then they will again fall into the prey of materialistic sense gratification. Just imagine, if a person, even he is in the Brahman state, still he has to fall into the materialistic sense gratification. Then what to speak of people of this world who do not have any kind of realizations? Where do they stay? Obviously, they'll stay in materialistic sense gratification. There is no doubt about it. But here a question comes: if the jiva is in that state, or if the jiva is in that state, then how come he has fallen from the spiritual realm to this realm? This is what we need to think. See, if there is no illusion, then how is that illusory state manifested in the spiritual world? If the jiva is always eternal servant of the Lord, yes, in the spiritual world that is there, then how is it even from the spiritual world they fall into this material realm? I'm not talking about Brahman, I'm talking about spiritual world. If we do not fall here, then we wouldn't have been here. We are here. That means even in the spiritual world, there is more to understand. Please understand. I'll give an example. The Lord, the Father, he sends his child to the park along with other friends. Why the Lord, the Father, is sending the child to the park? The father is sending the child to the park so that the father knows that child will not misbehave. He will play for some time and then he will come back. Through that intentionally, father is sending the child to the park. That means what is the father doing? The father is giving little independence. For example, if the child do not come within 1 hour or 2 hours, the father immediately goes there. The father gives the time to the child. You should come before this. If you do not come, then I'll be there. Right? That means the independence is there, but the independence is not full independence. The jiva, the child, gets the little independence from the father. If the child is utilizing that independence correctly, then his life is successful. For example, he's supposed to go between 5 and 6. If he comes back to home by 6 or 6:05, then that is good, because father knows that he's submissive. He knows that he leaves at time, he comes at time. Okay. But let's say the child doesn't come until 6:30. What will father do? The father will go and pick up the child. If the child is not coming, then what will father do? Father will somehow, he will tell something, or if the child is not listening, then he will put a slap or two, and then the child will come to straight, and then he will get him back home. That means here the father is doing some process so that the child comes to his original position. Likewise, dear devotees, in the spiritual world also, even though we are eternally part and parcel of the Lord, in the spiritual realm, the jiva is not serving the Lord with that mode. Technically, he's serving the Lord, might be through as a friend, as a relative. It's different relations with the Lord. There are 5 primary relations, but in that 5 there are unlimited relationships. Jiva doesn't know. but the Father knows. So please understand this. Jiva might not know, but the Father will know. Okay. Now let's say the fall of the Jiva from the spiritual world into the material realm is not just happening just like that. For example, we are not just thrown into this material world directly. We were not thrown into this material world directly. Please understand this. We were slowly, we were sent to higher planets first. At that time, if the child realizes that no, I need to go back to the father, then he will go from there only. He will not come to the material world. But slowly, through the association of this materialistic realm, the consciousness became degraded. That father also knows. But father also is giving that independence, just like the father in this world is giving that 1 hour independence to the child. Likewise, Krishna is also giving us that independence. Through that independence only we came here. We did not come just like that. We came through that independence only. Slowly, that independence was being given, and we eventually misused it. Not everyone will misuse it. Only Jiva like us, we misused it. Through that misusage, what is happening? We have forgotten the relationship with the Father, Krishna, Govinda. We've forgotten him. Now, when somebody is teaching us, when we are learning, sometimes it becomes Greek and Latin. How and why? Because we do not have that connection anymore. Now, this process of Krishna consciousness, which Srila Prabhupada is giving us, what is that? That is, he's trying to re-establish that relationship with the Father. Just like, for example, if the child is not even listening from the father, then father, you know what father tells? He sends child's friend. And then he tells, you go to the park and then ask him to come to the home. Then the friend will go and then he will tell, hey, you know what, your father is disturbed, is is worried about you. Why don't you go to the home? Then the child will go back to the home. So the job which that friend is doing, that is the job of the spiritual master. It is the job of the spiritual master. Spiritual master's job is to what? Is to re-establish that connection. Just like the father is not listening, the father also. From father also is not. He doesn't even know that there is father. He's thinking that only he has some father in this. But he doesn't know he has an eternal father. So that re-establishment, because he's completely forgotten, because he doesn't want to come, he wants to stay in the park. The child wants to stay in the park. Likewise, the conditioned souls in this world, they want to stay in this world, going through eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And then doing some little, getting some little happiness through sense gratification, and that's about it. They think that that is the greatest relishment in this world. But that relishment is not the relishment. Because, for example, how much time the child will be in the park? Up until it is dark. Once it is dark, then the child has to come back. He cannot stay there forever. He cannot remain in that state forever. He has to come back. At least in the night, he has to come back. Likewise, the conditioned soul in this world, eventually, he has to leave this body. But the thing is, after leaving the body, the conditioned soul will not go anywhere. He will again remain in this material realm because he is in that material consciousness only. So that's what Srila Prabhupada is telling. The consciousness, the materialistic consciousness has to be purified. And then he says that that is the whole point of establishing this Gita. That is the whole point. There is no other reason. The whole reason of establishing Bhagavad Gita as it is. That's what Prabhupada is telling. He says that at least one pure devotee should come from this moment. That means a question will come. come to the state of pure devotee, is it easy or difficult? It's not easy, it's difficult. There are so many attachments in this world. So many things of this world are trying to pull us away in the consciousness. They're pulling us away in different ways. Now that pulling cannot fathom, cannot understand. The Jaiva is pulled again and again, is dragged into this world. Please try to understand. We are like the adamant childs. We are like the adamant children. Doesn't want to hear, doesn't want to listen, doesn't want to understand, doesn't want to accept, doesn't want to move forward. Just simply be engaged in our thing. That's when even when we come to Krishna consciousness, what happens is even when we come to Krishna consciousness, what happens is as the consciousness is not purified, we apply Krishna consciousness through that unpurified consciousness only. That means we take the truth through that unpurified lens. For example, if the lens are not pure, if the lens are not clear, for example, you are wearing glasses, so it's all dust and so many other things are there. We cannot see after wearing the glasses. Then what do? We immediately clean the glass. Then after cleaning, we put the glass, and then now we can see clearly. If still the vision is not there, then there's some problem with the eye. We need to see that is cleared. So why are we doing this? Because we want to see or we want to have that right vision or right perspective in our life. Because unless and until a person can see, he cannot understand what's happening in the front. Just like in the night, it's pitch dark. What do? We can't see anything. We immediately get up and then switch on the light so that we can see what's happening. Is it not the spiritual ones that are doing in our life? Oma jnana timirandasya jnananjana shalaka. He wrote this in 1971, the preface in Sydney, where he's clearly telling even the so-called impersonal liberation will not give satisfaction to the heart. That means if there is no person, if there is no aspect of trying to please a person, one cannot experience the taste of Krishna consciousness. Yesterday I was hearing from a spiritual master, he was telling very beautifully about the importance of how the consciousness has to be purified. For example, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajat mamekam sharanam vaja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami mashuchaka. Krishna is readily telling, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami mashuchaka. I will take care of everything. For that, what you need to do? Sarva dharman parityajat mamekam sharanam vaja. You surrender unto me. Sarva dharma, all the dharmas, you keep them aside. You surrender unto me. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. I assure you, if you do this, aham tvam sarva papebhyo, I'll take away all the sinful reactions from your life. So you'll be free from all the sinful reactions. Then even I'll give you moksha shami master. Take it to my realm, my world. Now, if a person hears this, that we need to sarva dharman parityajya, we need to give up all the religion and then surrender to Krishna. The person is hearing. Generally, he will be fearful. Oh, Krishna is this. I've seen so many Devi Devatas, they never asked me this. So why don't I just stay with them rather than come to Krishna? He's telling if you give up everything, then only we'll do the thing. That means if a person is fixed with Rajoguna, what is that? mode of passion. If the person is fixed with Rajoguna, then what happens to devotees? He'll be fearful. Oh, this is my belonging now. If it is gone, then what is the thing? This is my family. This is my home. This is my this. Yesterday was a Black Friday. I could have, invested like $2,000-3,000 to get a worth of $5,000 item. A lot of people do a lot of strategies. Purchase this, purchase that, so many things. So many of my friends, they just do this. They wait for this particular day. Then do what? Purchase everything and then stock them in their home. To what? To throw them one day outside. That's what happens. They purchase for $1,000 and then they sell it for $100. What is the use of that? Is it not a useless thing? The most useless thing happened yesterday. But everyone thinks that that is the greatest thing. Just because everyone is filling their pockets. The reason of Black Friday is there was in 1915 Philadelphia, there was a traffic jam due to Thanksgiving. That was on Friday. Full traffic jam. And that's when traffic means it's not good, right? That's when they say black. On which day it happened? It happened on Friday. So that's how the name came. But more important than that is entire year there is no business, but on that weekend they have unlimited business. That means what is the Thanksgiving? Generally, Thanksgiving is a gratitude, expressing gratitude. But what do they do? It's not an expression of gratitude. What do they do? They kill animals. You know how many turkeys are killed? No idea. So many turkeys are grown so that they're fully grown by this time. To grow them also they give a lot of injections, this, that, so many other things. Because they have to grow fast. Because the more weight they have, the more sale they get. So for that, they will do a lot of investment in that. Because they have to get money. Because this is the only time a lot of people will eat that. And then they sell it off. Millions of turkeys are killed during this period. But the name it says that Thanksgiving. What kind of Thanksgiving is that? One jiva is actually suffering so much. Not one jiva, millions of jivas are suffering. That is why America is only superficially. It looks externally, it looks everything is clean, but internally everyone is suffering. Right? Because there's no real thing in the heart. Because there's no Krishna, na? And there is no relationship. Because you see, why am I telling this example is if you actually understand this is how people are trying to find happiness in this world. That is what Prabhupada is mentioning. They'll not get happiness in this world, which is true. Who is getting happiness? You ask so many people, they will stand in the queue. Some places it snows also, but still they stand outside the store. A lot of people are stopped doing on outside, standing at the outside because everything is online. They're doing online now. But 20 years back when we came first time US, we were standing in the college, college days. We're standing outside the store, midnight. It was snowing that day. Still we are standing. Because we were thinking we could save like $20. But later on we realized that this is a futile thing, it's a useless thing after coming to Krishna consciousness. So the most important thing is to establish that I'm a servant of the Lord. That is what Srila Prabhupada is telling in the preface. Dear devotees, if we understand this, if we establish this before we enter into introduction of the Gita, then there are Srila Prabhupada actually gave unlimited wisdom in introduction. He poured his heart in introduction. He gave everything. He gave the synopsis of Gita. All the important principles he taught us. All we need to do is we need to put faith on his words. We need to really understand him and serve his pure devotees. That is what Krishna consciousness is. If we do that, you'll actually understand everything in Krishna consciousness. You'll never miss anything. This is a real science of Krishna consciousness. This we need to understand. That's how the jiva is continuously suffering. Why the jiva is continuously suffering? Because the jiva doesn't know what he has to do, what he is doing. Yesterday, one living entity is the food for the other living entity. There's so many caterpillars here in India, especially during the water. During the rainy season, a lot of caterpillars will come. When the caterpillars die, immediately ants come. And up until that point, we don't see those ants. Who is telling that the caterpillar is dead? And then you have to go and eat. Who is telling? The ant. Who is telling the antibiotics? Who is feeding that ant? That's the natural death of the natural death of the caterpillar. And then ants are eating on the dead body of that caterpillar. I was just thinking, "Hey, we also went through that. Then finally, by the mercy of the Lord, we came here, we landed into the science of Krishna consciousness. We don't want to again degrade our life by engaging in sense gratification and then taking the body of the body of the ant. Now, one time, Krishna, Radha Krishna, when they were when they were sitting, there's an ant which came, and then this ant is actually feasting on the sugar candy. Then the Lord Krishna started laughing by seeing the ant. Then Srimati Radharani asking, "Oh, why are you laughing?" Then Krishna said, "You know what? This ant in the previous life is Indra. So now he became ant because he was not right in his actions. He was fixed up to so many things. So he received this ant body. You see how his relation by seeing him laughing. So the Lord gives independence based on our desires. He'll give whatever we want. If you are seeing, if a woman is seeing a male, and then the woman is thinking that, oh, he's a nice person, let me have some good time with him. That woman will get a male body next life. And then if the man is thinking about the woman, oh, you know what? She's young, beautiful. Let me have some good time. He'll get that kind of a body. Well, because what is he doing? He's meditating on that. Please understand. Indra didn't get that antibody just like that. Or Krishna, or all of a sudden out of blue, is thinking, oh Indra, let's you have an antibody. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. Let us do a spinning of the wheel. Kaun banaya karodpati. Let's see. You'll become an ant. You'll become an Indra. You'll become a Chandra. You'll become Varuni. Why? Let's do a spinning up of the wheel. It doesn't work like that. It only works on the jiva's desire. If the jiva aspires to become that, he'll get that. If the jiva develops the consciousness of an ant, he'll get an ant body. If the jiva develops the consciousness of a woman, he'll get a woman body. If the jiva develops the consciousness of a pig, he'll get a pig body. That is how the transformation is happen. Just try to understand in this material world, everyone is trying to find happiness, so-called happiness of this world. Through the so-called happiness, Prabhupada is telling, right, at the end, it is very difficult. If that's what Prabhupada is telling. If one person becomes a pure devotee, then it is great. But then my mission is accomplished. That means that one person giving up all this materialistic happiness, he will come to the state of Brahman. But even that is also not required for us. One should give up the materialistic sense gratification, and on the other side, you should take up the science of Krishna consciousness to the core of the heart. Jivara Swarupa Krishna and Nityadas and their eternal master and the eternal servant. Oh, my dear Lord, you please, without you, there is no existence. Today afternoon, I was thinking about this. What is surrender? I was thinking about this. Is stopping the job surrender? Or easing or becoming free or becoming free from the materialistic sense gratification is surrender? Or becoming or telling everyone that, hey, you know what? I left the job. Hey, you know what? I'm not working anymore. Hey, you know what? I'm not running behind money. Is that surrender? What is real surrender? What is surrender? Now, these things, jiva, can be done through different modes. These things also, the so-called surrender, you see so many people, you see outside also, a lot of people, they just give up so many things. I remember my friend, we both went to same university. We both were masters, we both were classmates in masters. And then he went to the school of impersonalism. I was trying to bring him to personalism, but he was not accepting the personalism concept. Now that is the whole reason he didn't married. He was not married also because he liked the conception of impersonalism. That means he wants to be free from the responsibilities. That is the whole reason he didn't get married. No, he's same age, 41, 41. He's not married. But what is he doing? He's trying to learn the principles of meditation. He's trying to be free from this world. He's trying to be aloof from the relationships of this world. He's trying to remain uh, far away. He's trying to go to a place called a farm and then staying there for a longer period of time and then trying to observe the nature, stay with the nature. What is that? This is the energy of the Lord. See, that is his desire. Please try to understand. A desire manifests first through desires only, all our actions would manifest. So that is the desire of the jiva. So what is the jiva is trying to do? In that there is no relationship to Krishna. Please try to understand because this is impersonalism. Now, how this impersonalism manifested? That is also one level of surrender only. Because he also doesn't work now. He also gave up his job. He's only one. There's not much maintenance, right? He's only one. So those things, those things when we understand the devotees, even surrender is also in goodness, passion, and ignorance. Surrender is also at different levels, different modes. Now, what is a surrender? In ignorance, you know, immediately they say, what kind of this is also one level of surrender. What kind of surrender? You know what? He's not hearing from me, or she's not talking to me, or this person is not good. That person is. I don't want to take their association anymore. I want to stay away from that. That is also one level. You are giving up everything. Or this money is not helping me. He wants to give up that. That is through Rajo, right? Now, what is Sattva? In Sattva also there is some level of tange. There is some level of issues. Because in Sattva, what happens? He gives up everything, but he has some expectation. What is that expectation? Oh, you know what? This person has give up. The others has to understand that, and yeah, others have to tell him. That is it. That is in Sattva. In Sattva, what happens? There is an expectation. Please understand. So one should actually cross that hurdle also. Now, what is a real surrender? The real surrender is everything. Oh, my dear Lord, Krishna, Govinda, you are the source of everything. Oh, my dear Acharyas, you are the source of everything. Oh, my dear spiritual master, you are the source of everything. I'm simply doing it for you. You want me to work? I'll work. You want me to leave the work? I'll leave. You want me to stay here? I'll stay. You want me to leave this place? I'll leave. Simply, sadhaka has to become an instrument of that person. And that instrument also, it should be ahituki. It should be spontaneous. It should not be calculated. It should be spontaneous. When that spontaneous thing is coming, then that is in the state of transcendence. That surrender is what pleases the Lord so much. I was thinking further on that, which is very important. For example, if we have, because I was thinking, because you see, the elephants in the forest or all the living entities in the forest, they don't do 9 to 5 job, but they are maintained. Let's say they're supposed to live for 20 years. Don't they live in the forest for 20 years? Are they doing any job? No. For example, that animal is in the mode of passion. that means it will naturally stay in the mode of passion. It doesn't come to goodness because there is no that so many fluctuations in animals. They just remain in one mode and then they just continue their life, and then naturally they will evolve. But if you actually see, these living entities are not doing anything, but still, what are these living entities doing? These living entities, what are they doing, dear devotees? These living entities, they are actually evolving in their life. They don't have to work. Likewise, dear devotees, this human form of life is not meant for that. The human form of life is to understand our real position. That is the whole purpose of this human form of life. There is no other purpose in this human form of life. If a sadhaka understands this, then his progress will be different. That means his work, what should he do? I sent a message in the group, right? If a person is really working for Krishna, then that is a real Krishna consciousness. Even though that might look as a material plane, but he has to work for Krishna. What do you mean by work for Krishna? That means the results what we are getting, that should be submitted to Krishna. That is real work. For example, if a person gets $1,000,000 and then he also says that I'm working for Krishna, but he is using all that $1,000,000 for his happiness, do you think that he is working for Krishna? He is not working for Krishna. It's a very simple, practical example. Now he can say that I'm working for Krishna, but he's really working for Krishna. He's not working for Krishna. He's just proclaiming himself that he's working for Krishna. That means what is he doing? He's actually cheating himself. That means when a sadhaka will come to the real state, he should really understand that what is working for Krishna. Because this is a beginning to elevate his consciousness to the level of surrender. Until that point is established, there is no hope in this world. Because until that point of time, he cannot understand that. Please try to understand this. We might have kept so many things in our life, so many aspirations, so many goals. But all those goals, aspirations, everything, if there is no Krishna in it, if there's no instructions of the acharyas in it, there's no use. Because an elephant cannot think like this, or a dog cannot think like this. It's only human being can think like this. No one else can think like this. Who can think like this? No one else can think like this. Only them. Only they will think like this. It's very important. This we need to understand. Uh, I have a hard stop today at 7:30. So we have few minutes. Anyone would like to reflect on what we discussed? And
Prabhuji, Dhanyavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, can you hear me?
yes, Amma.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, very nicely you explain about the surrender. What is the real meaning of surrender? It should be spontaneous and constant effort should be needed, Prabhuji. And as you mentioned about that cheating, like I need to judge myself, like when I'm saying something, oh, I'm doing for Krishna, whether my personal interest is there, my hidden agenda is there, or just so Prabhuji, it's a gradual process for that. And surrender was when you were talking about the complete surrender. I was thinking about Srila Rupa Sanatan Goswami when they left the job. They were David Khaz and Sakar Malik, and Srila Rupa Goswami just have the heat from that place, and then Sanatan Goswami also joined, but because of that king, he was very that Mohammedan king was not a good person. So and then they have so much determination to meet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they met in Ramkeli, and they were completely surrendered. They are the um, very dedicated soul, very they are the acharyas. So Prabhuji, I was thinking about their dedication, their sacrifice for meeting Mahaprabhu and preaching. So Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. They are the epitome of devotion. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they gave everything. They gave the real essence. Srila Prabhupada multiple times quotes about them and then take a lot of inspiration from them. So we should always check our consciousness. We should always check our consciousness in that way. Then see what has to be done, in which way has to be done. Because that is the only way we can progress in Krishna consciousness. That's why we should always take that kind of association where they're always constantly telling us what is the real essence of Krishna consciousness and then move forward. And then try aspiring for that consciousness or that state. Because until we come to that state, we don't really take the process of Krishna consciousness. Because the real dependence will not come. Rukmini Amma, Mother Rukmini, was really dependent because it's her life and death. If Krishna doesn't come, she'll die. She'll leave her body. That's what she writes in the letter. If you are not there, then what is this? What is the whole point? How can I stay with some other person? Because you are my prananada, you are my everything. Because she's fully dependent. We should come to that state. We should aspire for that consciousness. Everything belongs to you. You are my master. We should find, we should associate with that kind of devotees who aspire for that consciousness or who are actually acting on that consciousness. Because that is how taking real associations. Association means meeting them and then telling that, oh, you know what is the next movie coming? What's happening in the market? What is Trump doing? This is not association. No, they also were Tilak and tell this. This is not association. Association is this. Real association is this. Dear devotees, we don't know how many days we will live. So every day is important for us. Do we know how many days we will live? We don't know. Do we have a guarantee that we will be living? For example, if we leave our body in America, do you know what's going to happen? No idea. But Prabhupada was concerned to speak of us. Do we have that concern? Prabhupada was really concerned. He was ill, he was very ill. That was in 1977. He was very ill. He said, I have to go back to Vrindavan. I should go back to my town. Because he knows this is not his place. He just came here to preach. He just came here to give the signs of Krishna consciousness. This is not his place. He said, no, to go. Because he knows what is real thing. What is the real thing in it all? And then we should, you know, we should try to understand what Krishna consciousness is, how we will grow, where we will grow. Dear devotee, if you have 100K, let's say you are investing that. Don't you do you invest wherever you like, or wherever you think, or wherever whatever somebody is telling? Don't you do some research? You do research and then you invest, thinking that the money it will be saved, right? And for some money, it should be used for some years. For that money, you're thinking about that much. No, this is a life after life thing. That means eternally you have to do this. For that, how much you need to think? Please think about that. I'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If I spoke anything, please excuse me. Here I'm Srila Shro. Please take over the call. Hare Krishna. I'm gonna sign off now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for the wonderful class, reminding us every day not to take up impersonalism and how we can make progress only by pleasing the personality. And so today we will sing a bhajan, Jeev Jago, to wake up the soul, written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur.